Alrighty, and welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I am Crypto Kip, and today we have Ethereum coming back up a little bit, which is pretty nice to see. But is this going to be a sustained rally, or are we going to continue with this Fed-stricken fear that has been rampant in the market? On one hand, we have the poly market saying there's a 90% chance of a rate cut. We have the CME Fed Watch tool telling us there's an 84% chance of a rate cut. On the other hand, we have Morgan Stanley coming out right now and saying that there aren't going to be any rate cuts this year. Well, what is the truth, and why does the Fed have to speak on Friday? Well, he's gonna. Jackson Hole, he will be speaking on Friday, speaking these dreaded words that could impact the market, maybe to the downside. Maybe we rally. Maybe we get a little bit of a rally. Today, we're seeing a little bit of a rally. Actually, let's talk a little bit about it, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you guys are doing great today. Let me go ahead and share the screen and we'll get on in there. Shout out to the chat. How's it going, Scott and Pepe and Mr. Patel in the chat? Good to see you, my friend. All right, guys. So yes, ETH is the top trending coin right behind Bitcoin, XRP, Doge, and Solana. Wow, look at that. Now Bitcoin is down at 113. Where did Bitcoin get to at its low? Let's check that out real quick right now. Let's check that out. At the low end of it, Bitcoin dipped down to 112. So we talked about 111, 112. I also talked about more the psychological level at 110. We dipped down there with a quick wick. Earlier today, we were climbing up, but now we're kind of maybe finding some resistance. Keep in mind, even when you're seeing this rally on the low time frame, you got to keep in mind that, like, you kind of got to get above. There's little trend lines everywhere, guys. Very simple ones or things like this. Clearly, we have reached potentially a level of resistance right there, and we could continue to trickle lower into Friday, where that Fed is set to speak. The good news, though, is Ethereum's rallying. Another thing to consider for ETH is there is a level of resistance that it has touched with that wick there, very clearly. Could we come down to that $4,000 level as I've been discussing? It's very possible, but there's a lot of bullish news out there. ETH Treasury companies, huh? Ethereum Treasury companies are accumulating more ETH. Now the Ethereum Treasury SharpLink spends another $667 million adding to their ETH stockpile. That's insane. A gaming company just buying ETH hand over hand. There's Tom Lee, Fundstrat. Now, is he part of Bitmine, or did Fundstrat change to Bitmine? Because I know this is Tom Lee. He's a very bullish, but look at that pinstripe suit he's got on. Wow, what a suit. What a guy. Has a lot of predictions. He's been talking about huge Ethereum predictions and the multi-thousands, like $80,000 Ethereum predictions, things like this. He's talked about it flipping Bitcoin, and Ethereum Treasury companies focusing on, or a lot of companies starting to focus on acquiring Ethereum instead of Bitcoin. This is something he's been talking about, but you do have them also buying 52,000 ETH, 220 million. So we're talking about, billions of dollars worth of Ethereum just getting purchased on the daily right now. However, there's other volatilities going on. There's people trading these markets. Obviously, this is something we discuss all the time. Today, we actually had ETH coming up because there was a couple shorts that were hit. Not a tremendous amount. Like, we had crazy liquidations the last 2 days, but as of today, got 108 million on the long side and 184 on the shorts are getting hurt a little bit more than longs today, which makes sense because when you do check out, what's going on in these markets, there's a couple coins that are up today. Wow, this OKX token is just explosive right now. That is unbelievable, this thing. When they had that burn announcement, this coin has just been ripping and roaring. Unbelievable. maybe I should do a video about it. Maybe you should take a deeper dive into OKX token. I got a lot of people that love crypto.com that watch our channel. I love crypto.com too, but man, this price action for OKX token's been wild lately. It is a very big exchange as well. That's been insane. You got a couple of altcoins coming up today, and you've got Ethereum obviously coming up today as well. A couple coins are down, but not a tremendous amount of them. So what we've actually got going on right now, guys, is Bitcoin dominance still heading in the right direction, right? Still coming down. I've got a target here, which let's see if it plays out. Could come down to 56, might even come down to this other level of 54% before we get some kind of significant bounce. I do think there will be some kind of bounce before we just absolutely collapse. Hopefully it just does collapse and we get full-fledged altcoin season, right? But we are seeing the shorts get a little more hurt today, which is why you see, altcoins here, like I said, mostly actually doing okay. Are the Fed rate cuts canceled? Well, it's something we're going to discuss, talk about some of the other news. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys are doing very well today. Let me get a sip of water here. Yeah, that's good. I am very hungry. I've had a very busy day. Haven't had a lot of time to eat, unfortunately. So we will be eating after this live stream. Gonna have to do that. Gotta keep that fuel in you. But shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I love that Scott and Pepe are all just having good fun in the chat. That's the battle that just keeps on battling in the chat. It's pretty entertaining, honestly. If you don't enjoy the entertainment of this stream that I'm conducting, just look at the chat. It's pretty entertaining down there alone. So let's get into some of the news. Altcoins doing pretty darn well today. Ethereum Treasury companies stockpiling. So everybody's prepping for altcoin season. Where are we at right now for the altcoin season index? We're halfway there, halfway there. We're in between Bitcoin season and altcoin season, headed towards altcoin season, which makes all the sense in the world. As we've talked about, the end of a bull market typically is an altcoin season where Bitcoin dominance falls, altcoins rally. We're heading towards that. I think it's going to happen. But the biggest thing that I think we're looking at is twofold. The Ethereum Treasury companies, obviously, as we discussed, being a catalyst for Ethereum coming up. As Ethereum breaks new highs, we could easily get altcoin highs. Generally, crypto is doing very well. Winklevoss Brothers, the owner of the Gemini exchange, just donated $21 million more to a pro-crypto super PAC opposing central bank digital currencies. We are continuing to see more and more money in the crypto industry overall, but more of this money in the crypto industry from the powers that be, like the large exchanges and the large players in the space that are making money. They are donating to try to contribute to the campaigns of pro-crypto politicians. One thing I told you guys on this channel ever since we started is that crypto was on the brink of getting very political, and it did. Okay, it certainly did, as you now have a pro-crypto president. It is the crypto president. This is the most pro-crypto presidential administration we've ever had. People that oppose this president are, I think a lot of those same people are kind of opposing crypto, like, for example, Senator Elizabeth Warren. And so what we have is kind of this decision for people, right? Do you continue to oppose crypto because you need to oppose your political opponent, or do you start embracing crypto and put all these other political differences aside because you realize that there's tons of political donations on the line? And I think what we're going to see as time goes on is as crypto continues to grow and these crypto companies continue to thrive, not just survive, but thrive, they're going to continue to donate to super PACs. It's going to be a big part of campaign financing in the future. And you're going to get more politicians that are pro crypto than ever before. It is something that I don't think you can really stop. Outside of that, let's talk about some of the other big headlines happening in Yahoo Finance. Obviously, we need to talk about the Fed Chair Jerome Powell, but we're also going to talk a little bit about this. The president just came out and said that Fed governor Lisa Cook must resign. So now we don't only have the president coming out and opposing Fed Chair Powell, who, in the president's words, has refused to cut rates when it is really a whole board of governors that has decided not to cut the rates. Why? Because they were fearful of inflation, especially given the tariff news that's been coming out lately, thinking that the tariffs could impact inflation in a negative way, which is why they didn't want to lower the rates too soon, because then if the tariff impacts came, then it can make inflation worse, and it could end up higher for longer. No, they wanted to pause them until they saw the impacts. Now the PPI data came out, and it's not looking good. And so now there's this debate. Like, for example, as I said, I don't have an article pulled out about this, but I saw this news. Morgan Stanley says no rate cuts this year, where we have, the odds right now suggesting 84% chance that we're still going to get a rate cut in September. Going out to December, though, the odds of us having 3 rate cuts have dwindled quite a bit. In fact, the odds are now down to only a 36% chance, as where they were a little bit higher than that. We've got a 15% chance even that there's only 1 rate cut, and even a 1.5% chance that there's no rate cuts. So the idea of no rate cuts is still on the table. It's not very likely. But anyway, the president is now continuing to double down against the Fed, really becoming not a fan of the Fed, wants Governor Lisa Cook to step down. Let's get into the details on this. Oh, wow. Apparently, there are accusations that this individual falsified bank documents and property records to acquire more favorable loan terms, potentially committing mortgage fraud under the criminal statute. I believe that Lisa is also somebody who is suggesting that rate cuts don't happen. We did have, I didn't see this. Last week, the president had nominated Council of Economic Advisors Chair Stefan Moran to the Fed board to fill a seat left empty by Kugler, who stepped down on August 8th, right? The pressure on the Fed's been intense, so you already had Adriana Kugler, who stepped down. Now we have the seat filled. Now he wants to fill another seat and trying to get Cook to step down because apparently there are accusations. These are rumors. Who knows if they're real? You got to look into that for yourself. But of potential mortgage fraud. Pressure campaign on central bank continues. Yes, this is something we've seen over and over and over again. On top of this, you have everybody just generally in the markets waiting to hear Fed Chair Powell speak. So we saw Bitcoin get down to 100K. This Friday, we are going to get an idea, potentially, about what the U.S. Fed's path is going to continue to be on interest rates, in interest rate cuts. Are we going to get them? How many are we going to get? Again, Morgan Stanley says ain't going to happen. Poly markets say 90% chance. CME Fed Watch Tool says, 82% chance of at least a rate cut coming. But there is a 17% chance that we don't get a rate cut on this September 17th meeting, which is happening in just a short 27 days from now. We need that rate cut to get this altcoin season frenzy. If we do not get a rate cut at this next meeting, or if Fed Chair Powell comes out even on Friday and is hawkish, this altcoin season thing could start turning the other way. We could go back towards Bitcoin season, and we could be postponing this rally that we've all been waiting for. And you could get some sort of extended cycle. You could even get a bull market cut short. I don't believe that's going to happen. I'm bullish on crypto. I think we got a lot of run left in this space. A lot of run left in the crypto market overall. But the timing's working out right now. If we get that rate cut here in August or in September, October, and December, that could be a perfect catalyst for this big explosive move. The problem that we have right now going on, Benjamin Cowan's got some great data. Bitcoin social interest remains low. What the heck does this mean? People aren't watching YouTube videos a ton. That's reflected in the views I'm seeing personally right now. The search terms for Bitcoin is not that high right now. There's not a ton of people that are actually looking into Bitcoin right now, which is shocking because the Treasury companies are stacking up like crazy because Bitcoin's at highs. It's shocking. At some point, we're waiting for some kind of catalyst to get this moving up. Social metrics were very high at the end of 2025, but we're just not having that big social interest explosion yet. Why might that be? And I don't actually have the answer to this. I don't actually have the answer to this. It's shocking that it's not happening yet. Here you have some people saying, I don't think retail is coming. The one reason I believe is this time could be different. There will be no alt season. There won't even be a blow off top. Calling for the top is what some people. Look at this. Wake me up when YouTube looks like this. There you go. You got everybody. All these gains. See, YouTube does look like that, actually, right now. But nobody's watching it. Very interesting. Honestly, this is a good point. Retail is struggling. Retail is struggling. Don't think retail is coming. I think there's a lot of people. Because retail is really struggling. Inflation is bad. Mortgages are very expensive. And you know, everything's expensive right now. And I do think that, you know, the middle class is not really a middle class anymore. And it's showing. And it's getting more difficult to just pay the bills for a lot of people that make good money. There's a lot of people that I personally know that make good money that are like, geez, with finances, because the cost of everything is out of control. It's difficult. It's difficult. Here's another interesting story that I want to share with you guys. Coin Bureau put out this post, and this is news to me, but a lot of people for XRP, right? And I'm bullish on XRP. We talk quite a bit about it. I think it can go to $5 to $10 in the cycle. It might even go a little higher, maybe. But one of the big narratives for XRP is that it's going to be the big thing for Swift. Well, Veneer Assets just reported recently that Swift is working to bridge traditional finance with blockchain. This we know. Highlighting XRP and HBAR as leading contenders in the global payments space. So one thing I've always warned about XRP, who's to say XRP is going to be the end all be all for Swift? It could be multiple. It could be something entirely different. Now here they're talking about HBAR. HBAR is a very popular coin. I'm quite bullish on HBAR as well. It's going to be impossible to predict exactly which one's going to be adopted by Swift, if any are going to be adopted by Swift, or if they're just going to make their own. But this is just something to think about. A very interesting story that I was very interested in personally. I want to share with you guys. In terms of where we're at historically, August is red right now. Is it still red? Let's check it out. Yes. August is still red. This is all within the realm of normal. A median of negative 7% gains for Bitcoin in the month of August. A average of 1.48% gains. We still have 10 days left about in the month of August. You guys ever do this? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. August is a 31-day month. We have 11 days left in the month of August. I have to do that. I don't know off the top of my head what the 31-month days are. I know that February is a short month. I know something. But I can never remember which one's the 31-day or 30-day months. So I have to do this knuckle thing. Does anybody else do that trick? That's what I have to do. Anyway, we're kind of right on track, guys, for everything. Honestly, August is in the realm of normal. September could be red, guys. You know what? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if September turns out to be green. But I do think there's going to be some wicked dip in September. I do. I just think there's going to be some wicked. I'm not a financial advisor, by the way. Nothing ever I say ever, never is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. You have to do your own research, my friends. But a lot of people are fearful for Fed Chair Powell. He's going to speak in September. In September, on the 17th. If he's hawkish, we might have to wait till October. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. October, November, hypothetically, I think it's going to be the top. I don't know. I'm just like you guys. I'm trading the volatility. Though, I mean, if you're holding a holding portfolio and you're just holding on to some of these assets, waiting for the blow off top, in the meantime, while you're waiting, what I'm doing is I am trading the volatility because there's clearly a ton of it. When the Fed speaks, there's going to be some volatility. Leading up to the Fed speaking, there's volatility. There are many events that occur. Outside of the events that occur that are great opportunities for trading, and again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, there are very clear levels that you can look at on these charts. XRP just broke down below this trend line, and now it is breaking back up. Probably, I think, I could be wrong, going to reject here and probably come back down. That's simple TA. Okay. Dogecoin easily could come back down to 17 cents. Ethereum easily could come back to $4,000. Pepe is sitting at support, has a wick below. If it really breaks below, it could come back down to 50884. These are all levels that I keep in mind. These are the coins that I actually trade that I have pulled up. I don't really trade Crow. I'm more of a holder for Crow. It's a weird one to trade. Plus, there's not a lot of exchanges that have high liquidity and volume with it. There's enough liquidity for spot trading, but I don't like to leverage trade Crow. I do like to trade Pepe and XRP, ETH certainly, Bitcoin absolutely is my favorite coin to trade. Looking for Bitcoin to the downside, you know, I'm not going to be surprised to see a hundo tested in September. Our total market cap got all the way up to 4.15. We've had a slip. It came back down, and again, just like everything else, you know, a little bit of resistance right there. It could easily tap back down to 3.73. It could easily come back down to 3.6 before we get the big rally. These are all the things that I look at. Bitcoin dominance still heading in the right direction. You got to love it, guys. Shout out to the chat. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Let me change the tunes. Soul of Jefe says, we could just rip from here. We absolutely could just rip from here, brother. Again, historically speaking, we are getting close to what should be the big moment of the bull market. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it ripping. Fidelity just dumped $100 million today. Fidelity selling more. Mitul Patel in the chat says, do you think if we don't see a rate cut, we might have a longer bull run? Longer, yeah. I mean, more delayed. Sure. Maybe. Pepe's rooting for Scott. Love that love. And look at that love on the chat. Pro Crypto Administration, Pro Crypto Congress, and Pro Crypto SEC. Oh, man, this trolling in the chat cracks me up. Did the FOMC notes come out yet? Ooh, no, I don't think the Fed minutes came out yet. Did the Fed minutes come out yet? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were. They were released an hour ago. Here. Let's pull it up. Thank you for that. Appreciate that note. If you guys want to check out Blowfin or Bit10X, do some trading for yourself like I've been talking about, you could sign up, take advantage of the sign up bonuses in the description down below. If you haven't done so already, check that out. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research, friends. You see a lot of people trading. Actually, there's a ton of people trading. Hopefully you guys are winning those trades. Divided Fed worried about tariffs, inflation, and the labor market minutes show. We're not surprised about this. The meeting summary depicted a divergence of opinion among the central bankers, whose votes to hold their key rates steady came despite objections from two Fed governors who argued in favor of cutting. Participants generally pointed to risks on both sides. Committee's dual mandate emphasizing upside risk to inflation and downside risk to employment. They are really in a tough spot. Federal Reserve officials worried about the July meeting about the state of labor market inflation, though most agreed that it was too soon to lower interest rates. Minute released Wednesday showed that was just recently. Gosh, that is not very bullish. Rising threats, they're talking about tariffs. Participants generally pointed to risks on both sides. Yeah, we know this. So Waller, we know, and Bowman voted to cut the rates. And everybody else, including the one that the president wanted to step down that we just saw, voted to keep them the same. You see what the president's doing? Kind of trying to out the people voting against rate cuts. And they came out with an article about mortgage fraud, which is wild. Regarding upside risks to inflation, participants pointed to the uncertain effect of tariffs and possibility of inflation expectations becoming unanchored. Considerable uncertainty remained about the timing, magnitude, and the persistence of the effects of this year's increase in tariffs. Wow. Yeah, I mean, this is not a surprise. Oh, they talk about how the president called Powell stupid and a loser. There you go. Oh, I didn't realize this. Powell's term as chair expires in May 2026. Guys, we're going to have Powell all the way until May. January, February, March, April, May. Oh my gosh. I thought it was the beginning of 2026. Wow. Though he can stay on as governor if he wishes through 2028. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine, guys? Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize this. If Fed Chair Powell stays on through 2028, that would be insane. Wowee, guys. Great comment in the chat. How's it going? My Filipino wife and I in the chat says September is going to be a green month. I hope so. I think it could be. I think we're going to have a big red dip in it, but I think in the end it could be green. Again, not a financial advisor. No financial advice. Do your own research. Friends, Frank Villalobos says, of course there's worried about tariffs. They would say that all year. I know. Exactly. Appreciate you reposting the stream, BSS. Thank you, brother. Look at the M2 money supply we're about to rip. Yeah? No, I mean, that's looking good, but got to get those rate cuts. Andrews Gaming says, you got this. What did you say? October through Feb. What? That's going to be bullish times? Thanks, BSS. Appreciate you. Is that going to be bullish times you're saying, Andrews? Again, if you guys want to do some trading of your own, check out Blowfin, Bit10X in the description down below. There are sign-up bonuses if you haven't taken advantage of them already. This OKX token pump is wild, guys. It is wild what this coin is doing. Look at that chart. This is crazy. They strengthen their leadership. Look at this. They got news story after news story. Look at this coin rip. This reminded me of Binance in 2019. Unbelievable. Where is... I haven't looked at this in a while. What are the biggest spot exchanges these days? There's OKX right now, number 5. Crypto.com, number 11. Number 1 in the US, but 11 overall. Wow. Wow. Here we go. OKX just ripping. That's unbelievable, guys. Yeah, the rate cut odds are going down. B-Fire, I agree. Yeah, they burnt a lot of the supply, Andrews. It's crazy. They burnt so much of the supply. They burnt like 2/3 of the supply or something. It's crazy. They did the opposite of what Crypto.com did. Crypto.com just increased their supply by 200%. They unburned the tokens they burned, and OKX just did the opposite. I think it's hilarious and frustrating at the same time. When they start handling their balance sheets, that's when we see alt season. Yeah, well, we're waiting. We're waiting. Didn't see it yet, Banana. Not yet, Banana. All right, guys. That's all I got in this one. I am starving to death. I got to eat some food. I got a lot of other videos to do today. Do me a favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. DCA, hold on, my friends. Do your own research, guys. Again, nothing I say here is a financial plan or no financial advice. None of that. You got to dig into this stuff for yourself. What we do on this channel is we bring up cryptocurrency news, talk about what we personally see in the market with our personal opinions. Right now, personally, get a big question mark for this Fed deal. Leaning a little more bearish than I'd like to admit, but I think we're going to get some kind of big dip in September. Am I wrong? Am I right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace, y'all.